My beloved child, tonight is not an ordinary moment, and if you are hearing these words right now, then something has aligned in a way you may not fully understand yet. There are moments that pass quietly, and there are moments that carry a weight so deep that even before they arrive, the heart begins to feel that something unusual is near. This is one of those moments. Do not treat this like something small, because what is unfolding around you has been moving silently for longer than you know. Even when you thought nothing was changing, even when the days looked the same, even when you questioned whether anything meaningful was still being prepared for you, unseen doors were being positioned in exact places for the right time. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and the reason this message found you tonight is because your attention matters right now more than you realize. There are people who have walked through entire seasons without recognizing when their turning point arrived, because it did not come with noise, it came with a quiet invitation to stay present. Stay till the end, because what you think is ordinary tonight may become the exact memory you later look back on and say, that was the moment everything began to change. A life-changing blessing does not always arrive with sudden signs. Sometimes it begins when your spirit becomes still enough to hear that something greater is being prepared behind what you can currently see. There have been delays that made you wonder if your time had been forgotten. There have been silent hours when you carried questions that no one else heard. There were moments you smiled outwardly while inwardly carrying uncertainty, wondering when relief would finally reach your life. Yet even in those hidden moments, nothing about your future stopped moving. What is meant for you has not disappeared. What has been prepared for you has not been lost. What belongs in your path is still being brought closer, and tonight carries a rare weight because this is a moment where attention matters. Sometimes the biggest blessing begins when a person decides not to turn away too early. That is why I say again, do not skip. Stay here carefully, because something huge is waiting for you. There are answers that arrive only when patience holds for one more moment. There are opportunities that appear only after long silence. There are changes that begin quietly before they become visible. What you have called delay has often been preparation. What you thought was emptiness has often been hidden alignment. Even the things that felt uncertain were shaping strength inside you that you will soon understand. Tonight, I want you to remember how many times you almost believed nothing important was coming, and yet you are still here, still listening, still searching, still holding a small hope even after difficult days. That small hope matters more than you know, because many blessings first arrive where hope has survived quietly. Stay till the end, because there are moments in life when one message reaches a person exactly when their heart needs to hear what their eyes cannot yet confirm. You may have felt recently that something around you is shifting without clear explanation. You may have sensed that your thoughts have been unusually restless, as though your spirit is trying to prepare for something before your mind fully understands it. That is not meaningless. Sometimes the heart recognizes movement before circumstances reveal it. What is coming toward you is not meant to create fear. It is meant to awaken expectation again. You have spent enough time questioning whether your season would remain unchanged. Tonight is a reminder that change often begins quietly, then suddenly becomes undeniable. Do not let distractions steal this moment. Do not move too quickly past words that were meant to settle deeply inside you. Something huge is waiting for you, and not everything important announces itself loudly at first. Some blessings approach with silence, with timing, with small signals, with moments that seem ordinary until later when you realize they were not ordinary at all. There are conversations being shaped that you do not know about yet. There are decisions beyond your sight that may soon touch your life. There are opportunities being arranged where your name is already being remembered in places you have not entered yet. Even now, what looks still is not truly still. Movement has already begun in places you cannot measure. And because of that, tonight matters. Your focus matters. Your willingness to remain present matters. Stay till the end, because sometimes the difference between missing a moment and recognizing it is simply choosing not to leave too soon. You have asked quietly for change. You have carried private thoughts no one fully saw. You have hoped for something that would finally feel real enough to calm the uncertainty inside you. What you are entering is not random. There is timing connected to this night that will make sense later, even if you cannot yet explain why these words feel heavier than usual. Do not skip. Let every word settle. Some moments pass and are forgotten, but some moments stay because they arrived carrying more than words. Tonight may be remembered differently than you expect, because what begins in unseen ways often becomes the story people later call extraordinary. And before this moment ends, hold this thought carefully. The blessing that changes a life often begins before a person realizes they have already stepped into the first seconds of it. There are nights when everything appears unchanged on the outside, yet deep underneath the surface, a quiet turning has already begun, and this is why you must listen carefully right now. What you call an ordinary hour can become the exact point where your direction begins to shift. Many people miss their own turning point because they expect something dramatic, something loud, something impossible to ignore, yet often the greatest moment begins softly, with a voice, a thought, a feeling that asks you to remain present for just a little longer. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and what you hear in this moment may carry meaning that only becomes clear later. There are times when your spirit notices movement before your circumstances reveal it. That is why lately there may have been moments when you felt something difficult to explain, as if your heart was trying to prepare for news, change, or an answer before it had any visible proof. Stay till the end, because not every important beginning announces itself immediately. A life-changing blessing often moves quietly before it becomes visible. It passes through unseen places before it reaches your hands. It touches decisions, timings, conversations, and moments that you cannot yet measure. Even while you were wondering if anything meaningful was approaching, quiet alignment continued without asking for your approval. What felt delayed was not abandoned. What looked still was not empty. What felt uncertain was often being arranged in a way that required patience before clarity. There are things happening around you that your eyes cannot fully read yet. A door can begin opening long before you hear it move. A new chapter can begin before the first visible sign appears. What matters now is that you do not dismiss this moment too quickly, because some blessings arrive wrapped in stillness before they reveal their full weight. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and this part matters more than you realize. There are people who look back at one quiet night and later understand that it marked the beginning of everything they had been hoping for. At the time, they did not know why the moment felt different. They only knew they felt pulled to remain present, as though something inside them refused to walk away too soon. You may have carried silent questions recently. You may have wondered whether your season would ever truly change. You may have looked around and felt that others were moving ahead while your own answers seemed delayed. Yet what you could not see was that preparation often happens in hidden layers. Some things must settle before they appear. Some blessings must be protected before they arrive. Do not skip. Even if your mind tells you that tomorrow will look exactly like yesterday, do not assume that. The smallest shift can begin without warning. A single message, a single opportunity, a single unexpected moment can suddenly carry more weight than you imagined. What changes a life does not always announce itself in advance. There is also something important about tonight. Attention creates readiness. When you remain present, you notice what distracted people overlook. When you stay still, you hear what hurried minds miss. This is why I say again, stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and sometimes the first sign appears only for those who choose not to leave early. You have already survived days that felt uncertain. You have already crossed through moments when you thought nothing meaningful was forming. Yet here you are, still listening, still holding on, still willing to believe that what has not appeared yet may still arrive in the right way. And listen carefully now, what has your name on it does not lose its direction. What belongs in your path still recognizes where to find you. Timing may feel slow, but purpose does not disappear. Even now, unseen movement continues where you cannot inspect it. There is a reason your heart keeps searching for confirmation that something better is near. Sometimes that inner pull is not random. Sometimes it is your spirit sensing that the atmosphere around your life is no longer exactly the same as before. Do not skip, because moments like this often pass unnoticed by those who assume nothing important is happening. But tonight, something inside this silence carries weight, and before long, you may understand why this exact moment felt impossible to ignore. And now listen even more carefully, because there are moments when the quietest part of a message carries the deepest meaning, and this may be that moment for you. Sometimes a person reaches a night where nothing appears different on the outside, yet inside the unseen places of life, everything has already started moving in a new direction. This is why tonight should not be treated as ordinary. A life-changing blessing often begins before visible proof appears, and only those who stay attentive recognize its first signal. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and the reason these words matter now is that your heart may already be sensing what your eyes cannot yet explain. There are seasons when you wonder if your efforts, patience, and quiet endurance have been noticed at all. There are times when the silence feels long enough to convince you that perhaps nothing new is coming. Yet silence has never meant absence. Many of the most important changes begin while everything still looks unchanged. Stay till the end, because there is something powerful about remaining present when a moment carries hidden weight. Some people leave too early from the very message that could have strengthened their hope. Some turn away just before clarity begins. But those who remain often discover that one quiet moment can shift the way they see everything around them. What is meant for you has continued moving even during the days when you believed progress had stopped. Even when answers did not arrive quickly, unseen pieces continued finding their place. What felt delayed was often being positioned carefully. What looked empty was often holding preparation that needed more time before becoming visible. There may soon be a moment that feels small at first, almost easy to overlook, yet later you will realize it carried unusual importance. This is how many blessings begin. Not always through dramatic signs, but through one conversation, one decision, one unexpected opening, one moment that arrives gently and then changes your direction more than expected. Do not skip. Stay with this carefully, because something huge is waiting for you. You have already crossed difficult thoughts, uncertain mornings, and quiet nights where answers felt distant. Yet every season you survived added something within you that prepared you for what comes next. Even what felt slow was not wasted. Even what felt uncertain added depth that now matters. There is also a reason why certain thoughts have returned to your heart again and again lately. Sometimes when a new chapter approaches, the heart begins asking deeper questions. You may have noticed yourself thinking more carefully about where you are, what you hope for, and what kind of future would truly bring peace. Those thoughts are not meaningless. They often appear when your spirit senses that something is beginning to shift. Stay till the end, because some blessings do not simply arrive to add something small. Some blessings change perspective, restore strength, and reopen expectation where weariness once lived. That is why this night matters more than it first appears. There are moments when the atmosphere around your life quietly changes before your circumstances fully catch up. And listen closely now, what is approaching may not arrive in the exact form you once imagined, but it may arrive in a way that fits your life more deeply than expected. Sometimes people ask for one path, yet receive something wiser, something stronger, something that answers more than the original request. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and not everything meaningful announces itself with immediate proof. A turning point can begin with stillness. A blessing can begin with awareness. A new season can begin in a single evening where you simply chose to remain attentive. There are unseen moments being prepared that may soon feel very personal to you. A word, an opening, a connection, an answer, a calm certainty where confusion once stood. Even now, while you listen, it is possible that what you thought was distant is closer than it has ever been before. So remain present. Hold your attention here. Because sometimes the exact second before visible change feels almost identical to every other second, until suddenly you realize it was never ordinary at all. Before this message closes, hear this final part with full attention, because sometimes the closing words of a moment carry the strongest meaning. There are rare nights when a person is closer to a shift than they understand, yet because everything still looks familiar, they almost fail to recognize how near they truly are. Tonight may feel calm on the surface, but calm does not mean nothing is happening. Sometimes the quietest hour carries the deepest movement. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and there is a reason your attention has remained here until now. Many people search for signs in loud places, yet often the clearest sign appears in stillness, in a moment where the heart suddenly feels that something important is near even without visible proof. That feeling matters. There are times when your spirit becomes aware of movement before your circumstances can explain it. Stay till the end, because the blessing connected to your life may begin in a way that seems small before it becomes unforgettable. A single moment can open a new direction. A single unexpected connection can create new possibilities. A single answer can quiet questions that have lived inside you for a long time. What changes a season does not always arrive dramatically, often it begins quietly and then reveals its weight step by step. You have already passed through enough waiting to understand how long silence can feel. You know what it means to look for change and see nothing immediately happen. Yet even in those silent stretches, important things continued moving beyond your sight. What you thought was empty time was often hidden preparation. What felt delayed was often careful timing. Do not skip. Let this settle deeply, because something huge is waiting for you. There are moments when life begins to shift just after a person nearly stops expecting anything new. That is why staying open matters. Sometimes when hope has grown quiet, that is exactly when a new sign begins to appear. There may soon be something that catches your attention unexpectedly, and when it happens, remember this night. Remember that not every turning point announces itself loudly in advance. Some arrive with simplicity, yet carry unusual impact. A word, an invitation, a new idea, a calm certainty, a sudden opening where there had been no clear path before. Stay till the end, because your moment is not always announced far ahead of time. Sometimes it begins in ordinary surroundings, in an ordinary hour, yet later becomes the moment you describe as unforgettable. What matters is that you remain aware enough to recognize when something meaningful enters your path. Even now, there are unseen details aligning in ways you cannot fully measure. Things you assumed were distant may already be moving closer. What belongs in your path has not forgotten where to find you. What is prepared with purpose does not lose direction. Do not skip, because something huge is waiting for you, and some blessings arrive after long silence precisely because they needed the right timing to become clear. There is wisdom in timing that cannot always be understood immediately, but later it often becomes obvious why certain things arrived exactly when they did. And hold this final thought carefully. The life-changing blessing connected to your journey may not simply be about receiving something new, but about recognizing that you were never as far from your next chapter as you once believed. Sometimes the greatest surprise is discovering that what you hoped for was already closer than your doubts allowed you to imagine. So remain steady, remain watchful, and remember this night, because certain moments begin quietly, but later become the exact memory that marks where everything started to change.